Hi, this is Jill Annis of Simply Organize, and let's start organizing now. So, hopefully, you've watched step number 1 and step number 2 for the organizing process because step number 3 is what it's all about today. And step number 3 is store. Now, I didn't mean go to the store, get in your car, go to the store and buy organizing containers. No, although that's fun, you may not even need those containers. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. First of all, you are going to decide, here I am with that word decide again. You're going to decide where to keep the things that you decided to keep in step number 2. So where are you going to store them? Now you might be confused, you might be stuck trying to figure out where to keep your things. So these are some questions you can ask yourself if you're feeling stuck. First of all, do you really need it if you can't figure out where to store it? Maybe you don't need it. Second of all, ask yourself, where would I use it? And that might provide a really good clue as to where to store it. For example, you're going to use your pot holders when you're getting things out of the oven. So they might want to live near the oven. That's a really simple example. Okay, another thing you might want to ask yourself if you have trouble deciding where to store something is, where would I look for it? And I know that sounds similar to the last question, but where would you look for it? You might just think, bingo, okay, that's it. That's where I'm going to store it. I know where I'm going to look for it. So it might be a rather unusual spot, not necessarily where you use it, but where you look for it. For example, I have an aunt that kept her purse under her bed, and that may seem strange. Do you use a purse under your bed? Not really. But that's where she would look for it. That's where it felt safe for her to keep it. So it might be unconventional where you decide to store your things. So now that you've decided where to store them, then you can figure out if you actually need containers. Now, if you have a group of like things that are small, you might want to put them in a container. That way it keeps them manageable, it keeps them all in one spot, then they're not sprawling all over a shelf or a drawer. They're contained and easy to find. So that's when I suggest using a container. Now, before you shop for a container though, look around your house. You might have containers that you've purchased previously and you could save yourself some money. If you're going to go out shopping for containers, make sure that you measure the space, especially shelf space, before you buy containers because you need to know the height and the depth especially. And then save your receipt in case you need to return any of those. Also look for clear containers. They're great because you can see exactly what's inside. You don't even have to label them if you don't want to. So clear is best. Rectangular or square containers are also best because they fit the space a lot better than, say, a round or oval container. Okay, so step number 3 again is store. Find out where you're going to store the items that you decided to keep during step number 2 when you were sorting it all out. And find a storage area that makes sense to you. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to you for step number 4. I look forward to seeing you at step number 4. Thank you.